Hey, how's it going? My name is Jeremiah Nickel, aka JT Nickel on Reddit, at ProDJKC on Twitter. I hate driving videos. Like, I really hate driving videos. I am back to school as a teacher, and I had to take off a little bit of time to take care of family business stuff, whatever. I don't have time to make a lot of videos. So I'm just going to take this time to make a really short one based on someone had pinged me, and I didn't even get around to addressing it yesterday. This is all about barbecue grills, right? What do I prefer and why? Uh, so somebody had mentioned the idea of getting a pellet smoker. So I have some thoughts on pellet smokers. I have some thoughts on coal-fired, wood smokers, and hopefully this kind of clears up where I like to be in the world of barbecue. Um, Pellet smokers have their place; they really do. One thing I don't like about them is I feel like I can never taste the smoke flavor quite as deep into the tissue of the meat, especially like a big pork butt or pork shoulder. Does fine on brisket. The best part about the pellet smokers, and it's incredibly cool for people who don't have a lot of experience with the smoking meat, is a lot of them have like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and you can check your temperature or adjust your temperature, the flow rate of the smoke. I mean, it's really cool. Like, it's super cool. Um, I have no experience with one other than my brother owns a Green Mountain Grill. So somebody was mentioning Traeger. So Traeger and Green Mountain Grills, in my mind, are very much kind of similar in terms of quality and capabilities. I I strongly urge people, if they don't have a lot of experience, number one. Number two, if you live like in an apartment complex where you can't have like a charcoal grill, then you probably shouldn't have a charcoal fired smoker either. And the pellet grill might actually be the safe alternative. And I highly recommend it. I mean, the pellet grill stuff, even for grilling, isn't too bad. I, my brother's has a hard time getting up over 400 or 500 degrees. Grilling, depending on what you're doing, sometimes you want it to be even hotter than that. So it's kind of in between, just, as far as the grilling capabilities go. I suggest getting one if that's kind of the route you want to go. They're pretty expensive. Um, as far as commercial grade charcoal fired ones, it's really hard to beat the Weber Smoky Mountain style, which is basically like a barrel style smoker. Um, I like using lump charcoal because it's hot. It's hotter than regular charcoal, but it does burn up quicker. And when it comes to wood choices, I usually stick with like fruit wood like cherry apple, whatever, for chicken and pork. Um, and you can use it for beef too. But I like oak. I just like oak for brisket. I don't know why. And then a lot of this is superstition. It's just personal preference. Uh, Anybody that tells you, they're the end all be all expert of barbecue, they haven't been to the American Royal to compete yet. Neither have I. Uh, I enjoy doing it, but it's not something I'd be competitive about. But I don't have a lot of complaints about my work either. So um, I have the one that I use the most around my house. In fact, it's the only one I have currently, is a UDS. A UDS is an ugly drum smoker. Look it up, ugly drum smoker. You can build them out of a 55-gallon barrel. There's some companies that actually make UDS style barrel smokers. They're between $400 and $600, depending on, maybe $700, depending on the flavor that you get. I love it. It's actually pretty efficient on fuel. I can do it like an 8 or a 10 pound bag of charcoal in there, or lump charcoal, and then I add my wood. Like, I'll get wood blocks of oak or apple, and you can throw a few of those in there. There's kind of a system and a way to fire it up, but once you got it going, you basically have like a ball valve that helps regulate the airflow to the bottom, and you can make that last. That one bag of charcoal and then a few lumps of wood, I'd never have to add any more fuel than that, and it'll last for like 10 or 12 hours at around 200 or so degrees, 205, 210 if you can throttle it right. That's the other thing. Like the pellet smokers, if it says 225 and you're using a thermometer inside, not just the one that comes with it, but if you get a actually a secondary thermometer to measure air temperature in the meat or whatever, it's very consistent once you figure out the tendencies of your pellet smoker. The barrel smokers and the UDS type and the Weber Smoky Mountain types of natural fired ones, people get all hung up about, you got to maintain that 215 or 220 degrees perfectly. You're not going to, and don't freak out about it. Just throttle it. Sometimes you're going to be popping up to about 250, 260. It's okay if you got a huge piece of meat. Just throttle it down. You're not going to ruin it. Okay, you're just not. And typically, when I'm smoking meat, another thing to consider when you're doing natural wood smokers in particular is you don't want to over smoke the meat. It'll get in there if you're not careful. And generally speaking, after about 6 hours of good heavy smoke, well, actually about 2 hours of heavy smoke and then 6 hours, I'll open it up and look at everything. If it looks like my bark is there on the outside of the meat, I'm going to go ahead and put the meat in a pan and put a piece of foil over the top and finish it up. Because you're not going to get any more smoke in there, and you really don't want to. It can get bitter. Okay, there is such a thing as too much smoke. I definitely, I know from experience. I've made mistakes, and so yeah, I don't know if that helps you whittle down the decision. If you want to go the natural wood route and you have a place to practice and do it, I like having one of those. If you're somebody that just wants to have your food on the smoker, you can't babysit it all day. You got other things to do. The pellet fired stuff is great for that. Really good. And there's so many things you can do because you do get that perfect even temperature. I mean, I think Traeger grills and Green Mountain grills and pellet smokers, I think you can even like make cookies in those or whatever. So think about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having both. That's the ultimate because, maybe you got an open Saturday where you could kind of hang out and watch your ugly drum smoker or your Weber Smoky Mountain or whatever natural fired one that you try out. And it's kind of fun. I like it. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys, and I hope everybody's doing good. I was just stopping in on the Ethfinance Daily, and apparently Uniswap's doing something. I'm so busy. All I can do is just get in there and check the reports and check in with the other moderators and make sure everything is cleaned up the best we can. And I hope that you're having a great experience on Ethfinance as a whole. And the best days are always ahead of us, okay? Cheers and big hugs from Kansas City.